are swimming, they're just doing amazing. So.
Vitale.
And I'm Brian Pelletier.
We're on It's Too Early. I actually wasn't the original host for It's Too Early, but Brian was in 2008.
And Tania's off doing big things.
Which camera?
Is this a run-through or is this live?
Is this live? Oh.
Great.
So today we have a pretty interesting program going on. We're all back for an alumni show for Mr. Pfeiffer's last retirement show, and we're reminiscing a little bit about what we did back then.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day for us, 2008, it was an amazing year for us. Besides the contract issues, we had Mr. Pfeiffer. We had all the presidential candidates come. Amazing.
Yeah, I know. Looking back, it feels like so long ago, but coming back, it's like all coming back to us now. And we actually have a little bit of a surprise for you guys. The original It's Too Early host, Tania Mendes, is with us on iChat right now. So can you hear us, Tania?
Yes, I can.
In the flesh,
hello, hi everybody.
The rising star of Arizona State.
Tania, what
I'm over here in Arizona and the sun is shining, so I'm very excited.
It's raining in New Hampshire. Always
that doesn't surprise me. That's why I came here.
So Tania, tell us a little bit about what you've been up to.
It's been a long 3 years, but it's been great 3 years. I decided to go to Arizona State University for their journalism program, and I'm actually in the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism, which has been great. So my first year, it was kind of slow. I just got involved with a lot of things that had to do with TV. I worked with a magazine out here called 944 Magazine, which was like fashion and entertainment and all the things that I really like. And then my second year, I did a lot more student government related things. I was the first president of student government, did a lot of things revolving around education and Board of Regents, tuition situations. And right now I'm just working at Arizona State. I work with a news channel doing consumer reports, KTVK Channel 3. So it's been an exciting 3 years.
Wow, that's awesome.
Amazing.
I'm like really impressed. Actually, I was just talking with Brian before the show. I was part of a student crew who was helping with the reaccreditation of my journalism program at Colorado State. And the dean of the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism was there. And so I mentioned Tania's name, and he was like, oh, Tania Mendes is a star. She's a rising star in our program. And I was like, yeah, we started out together, so that was really cool.
So what have you been up to, Alex, since high school?
Well, since I left, I went to Colorado State University, which is not in Boulder. That's actually in Fort Collins. And I've just been working for student media there for the past 3 years, majoring in journalism, technical communication with a concentration in TV news and video production. So there I produce for the Rocky Mountain Student Media channel, CTV, and I'm also an anchor for their new show once a week. So I've been doing a lot of that, just doing a lot of local news stories and trying to build up my resume reel, and this fall I'll be a senior. So
I think we want to know about your Japan trip, though.
Oh yeah, also I did just get back from Japan on a study abroad trip. Over there I was studying Japanese and doing a bit of communication courses. I was over there for the Sendai tsunami earthquake, and it was really, really interesting being there during a time where media played such a big part in everything that was going on, and it was a really eye-opening experience, and I recommend anybody who wants to travel to Asia or wants to study abroad definitely consider Japan. It's a great country for a lot of people, and Japanese isn't as hard as it seems, I swear. So definitely.
Studied in the Netherlands. Dutch is as hard as it seems.
Oh yeah, Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing.
I know a film major at Emerson. I studied abroad a year ago, I guess. I spent 3 months in Europe just traveling around, which was amazing. And then actually at the end of the summer, me and then my 5 roommates, there's an Emerson program in LA, so we're all going out there. And I'm working getting an internship at maybe an equipment rentals company or something where I can work with film equipment and meet real ACs and stuff. Because unfortunately, when you're in LA, the class schedule doesn't allow for me to be on any major shoots because you need to be in a union, and I don't have time to get in a union in 3 months. But it's a test the waters and maybe go back as soon as I graduate in a year.
We got some real life stuff going on here, and it all started right here in our video production class. I think that right now we want to show a little bit of a clip from an It's Too Early episode with Brian and Tania. When
going
it's
way
too early,
back.
Yeah, when It's Too Early
16 years old, 17 years old.
Yeah, they had different segments that they would do, like Where Are Brian and Tania? I think that's what it was
Tania and
called.
I had a wonderful relationship on camera. Yeah, Tania laughs. Best friends all the way. Tania and I used to do something called Where Are Brian and Tania? And Tania would take me to the mall. Where else did you take me, Tania? I don't even remember. It's been so long.
We went to some castle.
Yeah, I took her to my favorite places around town, like all the nature spots. And
wait, that castle, and that's where you did your
that project
film
I did.
That was fun.
So I think this is a clip from when I took her to the castle. It was our first. It was actually when we came up with the idea. So I don't know if we can watch that for a sec.
Let's check it out.
Trip down memory lane.
Business. Anyways, welcome to the first segment of It's Too Early, where we go crazy places.
Crazy places!
Yep, so this time, each week, hopefully Tania will be taking each other places that we like to go.
I can't wait till I take in places. Today we are in Groton, Mass.
Yes, we are.
Beautiful scenery. I've never been around so much wildlife and grass in my life. It's beautiful. It's epic. So the cows would represent the smell that you guys probably cannot smell right now. Because they smell a little bit, and they're black to remind you that they smell really bad.
Very
and
intellectual.
in Brian's words, this would probably be his perfect day. Beautiful scenery. The sun is shining. The castle. He said that listen to the birds chirp, but then he says I talk too much and I don't listen to birds chirp.
She doesn't.
Now we're gonna do the cow call. Attention, cows! This scenery.
So where are we going next week, Tania?
Well, we're going someplace exciting. You probably will not hear birds chirping, but you will hear cars beeping.
Cars beeping.
Yes.
My favorite.
Yes.
Anyways, that's all we have for this week's segment of Where Are Tania and Brian Now?
Woo-hoo!
See you next week.
And
That was great.
Quality television right there. Amazing.
I think I remember watching that clip after you guys got it in class, and I just couldn't. Attention cows. Attention cows.
Yeah, still my favorite date spot, for sure.
Yeah.
Always.
And while we're looking back, also in 2008.
Was it all fun and games?
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't all fun and games. There was a little bit of an issue with the teacher's contract within the National School District, and that played a huge part in our senior year. I know that as a senior at Nashua High School North, a lot of clubs were being
terrible.
canceled, and they threatened to take away our homecoming. And this was all because the teacher contract that was trying to be passed then, it wasn't going through the Board of Aldermen, which are the ones who ultimately decide on the final contract.
And they would reject it, and you don't even know why, and then you have to go back to the drawing board. And
yeah, and it was a really stressful time for all of us. I mean, Tania, you can remember that time, right?
Yes, I definitely remember everything that was going on, and I remember how over time, we saw the changes and how it affected the students because clubs were being taken away. I mean, teachers, you know, they didn't want it to directly affect us, but you can definitely see that, you know, teachers changed. They weren't there as long as they used to be. And it definitely affects everybody. It affects the classroom. It affects the after-school activities. So I definitely do remember that.
Yeah, it's tough. I remember I was a senior year was hard enough when you're like a senior in high school and then like to worry about college, worrying about these things. It's tough enough with your classes. And then it was so frustrating watching, like I had a club that I started in junior high school and it followed me all the way through. I was president of outing club the whole way. In my senior year, my teacher just bailed on me.
Yeah.
And that was it. And like she had to go follow the union and it's such a letdown when like, you're my teacher. This is the time when you need you most and yeah, you have to worry about your union, but no one thought about us. Like we lost our clubs. It was hard to get teacher recommendations. I had teachers tell me no that were my favorite teachers. And
yeah, I remember that too, and it was really hard trying to support them because we just felt like we were the ones who were really getting, you know, they weren't getting their rights and we were really not getting our rights either.
They wonder why the morale was so bad or why we were such like the troublemakers like 2008. It's because we were left behind.
We were, and I think that we have a video right now that's the Contract 08 video, and I think it
some
shows
interviews with Tanya and what we talked about. You can see the frustration in her face.
Yeah, absolutely. Can we pull that up?
Yeah, that'd be great to see.
That's very scary.
It's actually going to happen. It's weird.
Actually
We've
gonna
been
happen.
talking about this for months and months and months, and it seems like it's just all the adult
it
meetings
was like,
have been a whole lot of it.
We didn't know what it was going to be. We were like, is it going to be a job action? Is it going to be a strike? But they said that it's going to be a strike, and now we're at the point where he even said it. We don't know what's going to happen, so it's really likely that it's going to happen on Monday.
I mean, I read to a 5th grade class, and one of the students said to me, could you give my teacher back her contract so I can go on my field trip?
How do you feel that it's affected you?
I just feel like the teachers here at South, you know, don't care as much as they used to. When they had their contracts, it seems like they haven't been teaching as much, and they're more worried about their contracts than they are the students.
The home of the shrinking paycheck.
As it comes down to Saturday, with only less than 48 hours before, you know, the strike would happen, it's looking likely that it may occur. You know, I think that, you know, come Saturday, if it comes into like, you know, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon and they still haven't come out with anything, you have to start wondering what could happen on Monday.
I don't want to look back and think like I was stressed out, I was worried about this. Like even from this year to last year, like I know they enjoyed their senior year and I just want to be able to enjoy it.
Because I know we're not supposed to talk about it in this class, which at first it frustrated me, like why should we be able to talk about this?
Yeah.
But then again, we're always talking about how it's ruining our education, so our classrooms should be for education, so we shouldn't talk about contracts in our classroom, which I agree with as long as there's another place for us to talk about it, but at this point there isn't, so I think we should be able to talk about things, like we have no one to talk to about.
How many votes does it take to get it done?
I think as far as the board or aldermen are concerned is that finally their requirements that they wanted to see in the previous rejected agreements now have been met.
I did not negotiate this contract, and I'm on record that I think this is one of the dumbest contracts I've ever seen.
I really feel that teachers have a job, that they're the foundation of us. I mean, teachers teach education, and education, you need education wherever you go. And that's the foundation of a lot of things. And if we don't have that foundation in our community, what are our students and what are other people going to be like in the next few years? What type of atmosphere are we going to have in Nashua that once was the best place to live?
Is there any specific things that have been affected because the teachers won't have contracts?
The atmosphere is definitely more tense. People worried about not graduating on time. People are worried about the lack of extracurriculars that are available. Not everyone knows what's going on, but they don't really know where to get answers. We're not supposed to be talking about it in school.
It's like I've gone through my first 3 years of high school feeling like the teachers were always behind me 100% no matter what. But then as soon as this money issues came into the play, it feels like they've just kind of, the passion is missing.
So you don't think it affects students at all?
Absolutely not.
Well, how can we go about, because I know students have found it really hard to go to a source. What are some of our sources if we live in a sheltered world?
I'm not sure that you will go look for the source. You have to read the newspaper. You have to read more than one newspaper. Newspapers are biases. You haven't got time for that. You got to just do your studies. That's what you ought to worry about. Don't worry about this peripheral stuff. Overly worried worried about it. Overly worried about it.
So as you can see in that video, you really see the perspective of us at that time, 4 years ago, when we were just so bummed.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is that right before we showed that video, we were saying all the same things. You know, that's how much it really did affect us as students. So right now we want to introduce Michael Brindley, educational reporter for the Nashua Telegraph. Michael, so as of right now, I guess the teachers are renegotiating their contract again. What are some of the issues that are being brought to the plate this year?
And how does it compare to 4 years ago?
Yes.
Sure. Well, basically where we are right now is the contract that you guys had the impact of is going to expire at the end of August. And so basically all the sides have been working toward getting a deal in place to make sure there's something in place before the current one expires. Since the problem was with the last contract, it took several tries, and it was actually a couple years after the current contract expired that they had a new one in place. And so teachers had to go without raises for a couple of years, and actually went a whole year without any retro raises. So where we are now is a new deal has been agreed upon by the Board of Education and the National Teacher Union, and they had that vote last week. And basically, the union voted. Apparently, it was a pretty split vote. I think a lot of teachers were feeling like that was not a fair deal for them, but ultimately, the majority did approve it. The Board of Education approved it, and now it's in the hands of the Board of Aldermen. And just last night, the Budget Committee approved, recommending approving it to the full board. Now it goes to the full Board of Aldermen and to the mayor. And all signs point to it being approved within the next week or two. So it's good to report that I think students are going to be able to avoid a repeat of what happened last time.
And so what happens when these, after 2 years or so, when we have to start, is it going to keep going over again? Every senior class is going to have to worry about this?
Well, the thought was with this contract, actually the mayor wanted to keep to a one-year contract, but the deal was a 2-year deal, and she will probably approve it. But yeah, one of the issues here is that in a year or so, the two sides are going to start getting back together, start to renegotiate. But I think the positive point about this contract is I think there really wasn't the same type of impact on the students as there was last time.
Because that's something we were worried about. It's been 4 years since we had so much trouble, and people have probably already forgotten how tough it was, and that it can get just like that right back. And so we're just.
And I think all signs seem to indicate that this was, well, I'm sure it was very difficult to reach a contract deal, but it seems as though this time the students were left out of having to deal with that.
That's
impact,
good.
So that's good.
Wonderful.
What were some of the hot button issues that were on the past contract that were preventing the contract from being approved quickly, and what are some of the hot button issues this time?
Well, last time I think one of the big issues was the fact that it just took so long to get a deal done that you had to start talking about retroactive raises. Was when you approved the contract, going back and giving raises for past time, and so that's a really difficult situation to be in when you're negotiating a contract. Ultimately, healthcare concessions and what the raises would be were really the biggest issues in the last contract. In this contract, the city is, like the entire nation, is facing a very difficult economic time.
Absolutely.
And essentially, the mayor, I believe, she essentially put out a request to all unions for their healthcare concessions, essentially contributing more to the cost of your healthcare. And she wanted all unions to agree to that, and the teachers did. And they also agreed to very minimal increases in raises over the next 2 years. No step increases, $875 over the next 2 years, which amounts to essentially a 1.5% increase in salary over the next 2 years. But with the healthcare concessions, you're probably going to end up losing money. And so you got to give credit to the teachers in terms of taking a hit, knowing that the city just doesn't have the money to pay for what raises they think they deserve. And so basically it was a deal that all sides had to agree upon, and all signs indicate that it will be approved.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. Also here today we have Superintendent Mark Conrad. So what else do you have to add about the contract negotiation that's going on right now?
Well, let me say, first of all, although I didn't work for the district the last time around, I was a parent with 2 sons attending Nashua North. So I understand the anxiety that it provided for the community, and that many parents in the community had. So I'm really grateful that we know we can go into the next school year with a contract in place. I think, to reiterate what Mike has said, I appreciate and our board appreciates the extent to which our teachers were really willing to step up to the plate to share in the economic burdens that we're facing in our community. For some teachers, they may have a take-home check that's several $1,000s a year less than what they're taking home now. That's never easy to be faced with that. I think we also have to recognize at the same time as our teachers have worked with us to approve this contract, we have secretaries and food service staff across the district who have similar contracts, and will also be looking at the same kind of economic impacts on their paychecks. So staff across the district, I think, have stepped up to the plate, and we truly appreciate that. And it means we can go into the fall knowing that we have contracts in place and enabling our teachers and other staff to focus on what they're doing in the classroom with our students.
We'd also like to talk about the CTE programs, which
yes.
I know you have a big interest in your son.
I know that before we get into that, we wanted to show just a quick video that we made actually during this time. It sounds like this time things are going to go a little bit more smoothly, which is nice to hear, but I know that we made a video last time that we wanted to pull up right now. It's called We the Students.
We the students.
We the students.
We the students.
Yeah.
Our voices must be heard.
Our opinions must be recognized.
Our goal must be clear.
We are by the students. We are for the students.
We are the students.
Our mission?
To inform the community of the occurrences involving the teachers and the city of Nashua.
To stand up for what we believe in.
To stand up for ourselves as students.
To voice our opinions.
To accurately cover the views of all sides.
We are all students.
We have a voice. Let it be heard.
A little bit of a video that we made during our senior year, just highlighting a little bit of the students' discontent with what was going on. Again, we're here with Michael Brindley of the Nashua Telegraph and Mark Conrad, Superintendent of the Nashua School District. We just wanted to talk a little bit more about the contract issue. What is the likelihood that, it sounds like everything is kind of going on track now. I know that the aldermen just had their first read-through of the contract just within this past week. What's the likelihood that this agreement could go south? And
I actually feel very positive. The mayor has signed on to the contract. As Mr. Brindley indicated last night, the Budget Committee of the Board of Aldermen unanimously approved moving this contract forward. So I think there's an excellent chance this contract will be approved by the Board of Aldermen next week, I think it would be, and we'll have a contract in place by July 1st.
So we'd also like to relay some questions from Tania, I think, to you guys. So
yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Tania.
Okay, one of the questions that I had was, what has been the reaction from the teachers union? I know that the teachers union was really involved in, getting these contracts pushed and stuff like that. So what has been the feedback from them regarding, the end of this contract and the new contract?
So Tania would like to know some of the teachers' feedback regarding the past contract compared to this contract and future contracts, how the union, how they're handling this, which is positive, I guess. Respectfully, they know.
Well, I think the vote speaks for itself. I think there's probably a lot of teachers who feel like this is unfair, that they are maybe taking too much of a hit. Yeah. Just judging by, although the union did not release the exact number of what the vote was, it was clear just by sitting. I was outside of the room listening. You could hear there was a lot of emotion, I think, and a lot of teachers feel emotional about what they feel they deserve. And
it's their livelihood.
Rightly so. They're doing an important job, and it's their livelihood, and so they should take it seriously. But I think that at the end, obviously, the majority of the union felt that it was something they had to do, had to approve it. And maybe part of that is they wanted to avoid what happened last time, because I think from the students' perspective, it was difficult, but it was difficult for the teachers as well, not knowing what their contract status was going to be, going 2 years without a contract. So I think they wanted to avoid that as well, and to their credit, they approved the contract.
I would agree with Mike. I think that probably the term that describes our feeling best is relief on everybody's part, just to know we have a contract moving forward. Again, this was a difficult contract to negotiate. It really reflects some sacrifice on the part of our teachers and secretaries and food service staff, but I think we're all relieved we have something in place moving forward. And we started actually negotiating with the teachers 14 months ago, well over a year ago. We got started very early, knowing that the issues would be difficult, and we didn't want a repeat of what happened last time. And I think we worked very hard to get a contract in place before the expiration of the current contract, and we will do the same the next time around. We know it's important to get contracts in place on a timely basis, and I think both parties are committed to that moving forward.
So I think we'd like to bring the conversation back to the CTE programs now.
Sure.
And how the budgets and their importance, I think, is for us. I know it's shaped our lives. So we're going to have a lot of alumni come later and talk about how it's shaped their lives. And there's lists of us where like
I know
it's completely shaped everything we've done.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that you said there's a lot of cuts coming to the budget and for teachers as well, and like how is that going to play a part in the CTE programs? Since I know the teachers for those programs kind of fall into a little bit of a different category.
Yeah, the struggle with the lack of like the technological programs and the support in the city for that. Is that?
Well, I think. First of all, we had a very clear vision in putting the high schools together and really looking at reforming secondary education in Nashua. And the CTE programs were integral to that. And it was really about having programs that would provide real-world, authentic learning experiences for students, experiences that were hands-on, that could give them a sense of their futures beyond high school. And we really worked to integrate them into the schools and to make them accessible for all students. And we all know that that has paid off in very large ways when we look at the student enrollments in our programs. I truly feel these programs will continue to be an even more important part of our high schools moving forward as we continue to look at making learning both more realistic, more authentic for students, and finding new ways to engage students in ways that make a difference.
So I know your son Ben who graduated in 2009.
He did.
If you have any fun stories that he...
Well, you know what I remember, and I know you and your colleagues would say this too, he became so involved in these programs, they became his life. And they became his life not only during school, but after school. I can remember on a Friday night, he, at 8 o'clock, he grabbed the car keys heading out the door. And as a parent, of course, I all of a sudden looked at that saying, wait a minute, buddy, where are you going?
Yep.
You know, worrying he was going off to a party or something. And he said, Dad, we're filming the third scene in our next production, and it's an evening scene, so we have to go out and film it at night. And it turned out that that movie they were making won the New Hampshire Student Video Awards for that year. But I think it just, not only did he become more involved in the program over time in a way that really inspired him, but I think his academic experience across his other classes improved as well. And so he just became more engaged with high school all the way through, and now he's in college for digital animation, you know, which he really started thinking about as a result of this program.
That's great. I can definitely, I feel like I can definitely relate to that same exact story, you know, taking time out of, you know, the social life that everybody wants in high school to go and pursue the things that we really think could be the future of our career. I know that in 2008 we worked with the Nashua Telegraph to live webcast the primary interviews onto the website. How has video played a part in the Nashua Telegraph's layout now of their website and how they bring news to the people?
It's been huge. I mean, I was going to mention that the TV studio production here and the students who work in it have been huge for us in terms of getting, like, that primary experience was awesome, because not only did it get the students experience, got to meet the candidates, but it gave us what we needed in terms of the multimedia studio setting. You know, we don't have that, and so it was a great partnership, and I'm really hoping that we can do that again coming up with the New Hampshire primary 2012. But just anecdotally, I mean, my experience has always been positive working with the students in the video production program, and I do a show that I do with the interviewing people in the community who work in education one-on-one, and the students are always professional when it comes to that, and I can't speak highly enough about the quality of the work you guys do here.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Well, moving right along, I know that unless you guys have anything else more to add.
The only thing I would add is the enthusiasm is so palpable for students in these programs, but it's true in all of our other programs.
True,
I was talking with hospitality students this morning and seniors who know what they want to do in hospitality services and culinary arts, and they're excited about their future.
Automotive program.
Automotive. We're doing great things across our programs with students who are just excited about what they're doing, and
it's true.
And it really has had an impact across the school communities in so many different areas.
So I know it's crazy to see, like, the enthusiasm here is so big, but again, like, I have friends who came from the automotive program, now, like, one is a manager of a Firestone, like, completely, like, he did that all on his own. It's just his passion. I used to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning every Friday to do It's Too Early with Tania, and, like, be here at 7 o'clock before school started. It's too early. And it was too early, but we did it because we were so passionate.
Yeah.
And, like, I remember I was supposed to go straight, my plan was to go straight to computer science, follow my dad, and I ended up skipping going, like, to computer one. I ended up doing video production instead on a whim. And now that's what I'm going to college for. I'm going to LA. Like, it's
I took journalism on a whim. I had no, not knowing what it would do. And
it's
in high
teachers.
school in Nashua, and
it's the teachers
the teacher,
in the
Mrs. Hansen, was very inspiring and put me on a path to where I am now. So you never know what those classes are going to do for you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Tania, did you have any questions for Mr. Conrad and Mr. Brindley?
Comments even?
No, I'm a very strong advocate of the CTE programs. I think that they're great, not just the video production program, but the nursing program, the cosmetology school that they have at the North Campus. I just think that it's a great program, and it's not just the program, but it's the teachers behind it that make the experience very memorable, and it's just very inspiring, just to be able to start off there, and you kind of start your vision. You're going through, these stages in your life where you're trying to decide what you want to do, and you're trying to see, what you want to study in college. So these programs really, they're an asset to that. Really, creating your identity, deciding if this is something that you want to get into, and then furthering your career down the road. So I'm a strong supporter of them.
Yeah, we focus on the video, but this is times 100 of kids. Like every program, they're just as passionate as we are. It just so happens that we have the voice for it, but they do it in other ways.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all the questions we have for you guys. Thanks so much for coming on the show today. It's really great to be able to tell people what's going on from an insider's perspective, someone who talks to, teachers on a regular basis, reports on it, and someone, of course, who knows everything that's going on in the National School District. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
So I think we'd like to go back now, to the old "It's too Anya" or "It's too Tania." It's too early. Tania loves that, I'm sure. The second where Brian and Tania are going to be next, the shopping episode for Maya. Yeah, Tania, do you have any recollections of that? The taking me shopping for homecoming?
Yes, I do. I remember we were going to homecoming, and I had already picked out my outfit, and I had bought a silver dress, and you were like, "Oh my gosh, what am I gonna wear?" And it was just a catastrophe for you to think of going to the mall. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I love the mall." So that's this segment.
Oh boy.
All right, let's check it out.
Let's go.
What do you think? You don't like it. You don't care,
I'm neutral.
Do you?
It's cool.
You're neutral.
I'm not a good shopper.
I know. That's why I have to pick out things for you. That's why I'm here. No, we're gonna do red. We're gonna do red with a silver tie because my dress is silver. So we're gonna do red with a silver tie.
Okay.
Okay. So what size are you? Gosh, I have to pick out your size and everything. 15. What does 15 mean? 32 and 33. It sounds like it's. Huh?
I don't know.
Well, you're a man. You should know what size you are.
105.
Here, hold that one then. Yeah, that's large.
What's a manly in sizes? Burly.
Are you saying man?
Burly.
We'll give you that one to make you feel like a man. That one's good. All right.
It's my nose.
Silver. Okay, hold that. Don't be too excited to be at the mall. Don't be too excited. Okay.
That's in a fancy box.
Yeah, we're paying for the boxes. Ooh.
I like the shot here.
Quality versus quantity.
I'm all for quantity over quality. It's $21.
22, so that's $42 in total.
Oh, this
is awesome. Okay, this is good.
Awesome is not a word I would use in shopping.
Fantabulous. Or maybe like a purple shirt with a silver.
No purple. No purple.
It shows your Panther pride.
I am not going to wear purple.
This is going to be No, you're gonna try on purple because
I'm not gonna wear purple.
we're the Panthers and it's our homecoming, so I think purple would be legit. This is Valentine's Day. We can do that for our Valentine's Day show. This is homecoming. This is homecoming.
Okay.
All right. Okay. We can go now. All right. I think that everybody else looks out. So it's true. Let's do it. I like it.
I'm not a very purple kind of guy.
I'm sorry, it's gonna look so good on camera. And it's like shiny.
And you've got the blonde hair, so it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Yeah, let me see the tie.
I'm miserable.
I know you feel miserable in purple, but I love it.
I'm gonna like face myself.
No, that's gonna look so good. That's it. That's the one. That's the one. Do you know how easy this was this time?
For you. I tried putting the pins on the magnetic strip, but they kept falling off, so I poked them into the chair so I wouldn't lose them. I didn't know what to do.
Well, we have a pin cushion here, so you bring out the pins and I put them in the pin cushion.
I'm trying. I didn't want to be embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed. $46.98.
Yes, what a bargain. We did some bargain shopping, and it only took us 30 minutes.
It's a world record. 30 minutes, world record.
That wraps up our shopping with Brian.
7 stores later.
7 stores later.
30 minutes.
A little bit of motion sickness he had, a little bit of shopping sickness, and finally we got something for $44. How much did it come to?
$44.
$44. So bargain shopping, and he's gonna look fine. Wait till you see the outfit he's gonna pull off.
Let's see how it goes.
Wow.
Not my proudest moment.
That is great, Brian. I still really like the hair. I think you should bring the
I really
hair,
worked on that.
the hair back. Tania, also, I haven't seen you in a long time, but I don't feel like you've changed.
You're a movie star.
What do you think about that video, Tania?
That video is very funny. Brian, I remember the hair because I remember the twitch you used to do with the hair. That was cute.
Still do it.
Yeah, I guess I haven't really changed much. I'm still pretty quirky. I love to shop. And you know what's really, really funny is that here in Arizona, there's some people that I guess they don't know how to shop. And they'll ask me, they'll be like, do you mind going shopping with me and picking out outfits? And I'm just in heaven when they ask me to do that. So, no, I haven't changed much.
Yeah, that was.
Those are some good times, Tania. What are some of your other favorite moments from the program? Because now they're all like coming back to me.
Yeah,
some of my.
We're going to be bringing a lot of alumni on later just to talk about their favorite moments. And since you're not here, we'd like to see if you have any now that you'd like to bring up. Maybe not about it's too early, but doing more. Anything.
One of the things, okay, starting with the morning, just getting to school in the morning, I always remember, is Principal Susing still the principal?
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't.
She just walked by.
I should have guessed that. So I remember when Principal Susing would always in the morning go, "Good morning, Nashua South," and we'd be like, "Oh my gosh, it's Miss Susing again." That was classic. And then I remember when they started doing more enforcement, I guess you can call it, because everybody used to come through the back doors, and the back doors would lock at exactly 7:20. And I remember that she would get on the announcements and she'd say, if anybody is caught holding the door for anybody else, you'll get a detention. And I remember I'd be running up the hill and I'd be like, no, hold the door, please.
That's the intro video, yeah.
No, but that was for everybody. Don't you remember?
Yeah.
Everybody, 7:20, the music would stop playing, and then there was Miss Sue saying, "Good morning, Nashua South."
Do you remember we had our class with great chemistry, all got along so well that Mr. Pfeiffer brought in the team building exercises.
Oh yeah, we had to remember he brought in the guidance counselor and we'd like go to the gym and do team building exercises. Remember?
Like dodge. Do you remember that, Tania?
Yes, I do remember that. I definitely do remember that. What were some of the activities that we'd have to do?
Trust
we played
falls.
Lots
of trust falls.
Dodgeball.
Yes.
The reason Mr. Pfeiffer did this, for those of you who are watching, being part of a TV crew and doing projects together can be really frustrating. And of course, in high school, some of us, we all had different interests.
We all had lots of teen angst.
And we all had different interests, and sometimes those would clash. And so our teacher, Mr. Pfeiffer, decided that it would be a good idea if he brought in one of the guidance counselors from Nashua High South, and we did some team building exercises to help us work on.
But I think looking back, it was kind of fun. It worked.
Yeah.
It worked in a goofy sort of way.
And it was always funny because I always remember, Tanya, you would be dressed up and like in like nice clothes, and then we'd have to go to the gym and like sweat and play these games. Whereas like most of us, you know, we took gym as like freshmen. And then now we're having
throwing
to go
dodgeballs
play
at each other in video production class.
Tanya, do you remember that?
I do remember that. But the funniest thing was I think that we just all had very different personalities. So because I remember Korey was the producer, so we'd always get, you know, he'd always be very
Who's back to producing?
He'd always want everything. He'd always want everything to be organized, and sometimes things weren't always organized. And I remember when I wanted things done, I wanted them done now. And Brian, you were very laid back, but you were very passionate about what you were good at. And the same thing with Brittany, with her photography. Alex, you were amazing at just doing videos, anchoring, and everything. But you also had a very laid back personality. So I think it was just a bunch of different personalities. But at the end of the day, we all got along.
Yeah.
It was just.
I'd love to see how different production classes had the same characteristics as us. I'm sure there's like repeats of all of us, you know.
One particular personality that I remember
you'll love this one.
Was a man named Dan Deering. Dan Deering.
Petey the Pirate.
He also, one day, I think this is how Petey the Pirate came to be.
We had a segment in It's Too Early every week where Petey the Pirate would come in and.
I'm pretty sure that Petey the Pirate began because of a friend of ours, Dan Deering, and a fellow classmate, was making this pirate voice. I think he was like a pirate for Halloween or something, and then he would always do this pirate voice, and it was so annoying. And somehow, you know, of course, Mr. Pfeiffer was always encouraging us to just do stuff. Always do good stuff, just do stuff, so he could look at it and we could improve. And so Dan decided to make a segment called Petey the Pirate, which ended up showing pretty much weekly on It's Too Early. So I think we have one of our episodes here. So let's take a look at that.
Lane.
Petey the Pirate. Let's take a look.
Yay! Math! Oh, hello there! How are you folks on It's Too Early? Well, I'm here in my cave, and today I'm going to learn some math. Yay! But my friend Kendra, she should be here by now. Yay!
Why, hello, Petey.
Kendra, where did you come from?
I came from the Ladder of Knowledge.
The Ladder of Knowledge?
Indeed. Do you see it?
I see it.
That is actually made out of math, too.
Made out of math?
It is. You have to get the angles correct so that it stabilizes your weight and doesn't fall over on you.
Now what's math?
Math is a way of using numbers to calculate things.
Like how much food I eat, how many people I steal from, how much pirates I sword fight with.
Exactly. You have to add all those up, right? Pirate way of living?
Yeah.
You have to see how much dirty deeds you've done.
Well, if they look at me wrong, you know, they pout and stuff like that, I know I've beaten them down sometime or another.
Exactly. But so that's all used with math. And your ship, actually, that was built with math. With math?
Indeed. Was that the shipbuilder's name? Because I didn't build it.
Why didn't you build it?
I'm a pirate. I'm not a shipbuilder.
Petey.
I sail the boat. I don't make the boat. The boat's not even near what I can do. Sure, if I tried, but...
Petey, you need to do things on your own, such as build your own ship.
That's why I'm learning math.
Exactly. But so, your shipbuilder, I don't know what his name was.
Steve.
Steve, okay. Well, Steve, he had to build the bottom of your ship.
Yay.
Correctly, so that all the angles could support the weight of the ship.
Yay.
And so that it wouldn't tip over on one way, capsize.
I completely agree.
Exactly. So, that was all built using mathematics.
Really?
Yes.
So math makes up everything?
It does. Your food that you eat?
Yay.
Like donuts. Do pirates eat those?
Yeah, we eat a lot of donuts. I'm trying to cut back on my weight.
Well, exactly. The circle. It's a circle. You can calculate the circumference with it.
So, is it like the movie The Matrix? So when you get so enveloped into math, all you see is like numbers going down and everything's made up of math? Is that how you see it?
No, Petey. Mathematicians don't see numbers like that.
Is math like black magic?
No, not at all like black magic. I'm not a witch. I'm just a...
Witch?
No.
I didn't say you were a witch.
Well, you implied that, Petey.
All right,
Fair enough. Your friend.
Fair enough.
Thought it was your friend.
I have a kraken in the back.
That's weird. Anyhow, Well, when you throw your witches off the side of the ship,
Yeah,
plank,
when I throw them off, yes.
the plank, you have your plank going out from the boat.
Yeah.
Here's your boat.
Yeah.
Side of the boat. Here's the plank.
Yeah.
Okay. See what kind of degree this makes?
It makes
right in
an
there?
upside down L degree?
No. Petey, that's a 90 degree. 90 degrees right there.
I almost had that one.
180 is a straight line. So that would be the plank going straight across.
180.
180, straight line.
Yeah.
And then 360 is a circle, such as your eye patch.
My patch is math?
It is.
I see through the eyes of math?
You do.
Well, that's amazing. Unfortunately, we don't have more time to get into this, or at least the viewers won't see anyway. Well, back to you guys on It's Too Early. Yay!
Yeah, so
Petey the Pirate. Here we go.
So fun fact about Petey the Pirate. I don't know, Alex just told me.
Yep. Petey the Pirate, Dan Deering, aka Dan Deering.
The man.
I haven't seen him in a very long time, but of course we know with all these social networking websites such as Facebook, I came across a picture of Dan, and he has a Silver Surfer tattoo.
Full back
the
piece.
entire length of his back.
Living the dream.
That just goes to show you the characters that we had the opportunity and the honor to work with in the 2008 video production class.
We'll be bringing many more characters.
Yeah.
I think in a bit.
Yeah, and we actually, Kendra, who was on that video, she's also here
she's
today,
back there.
along with lots of different alumni. Tanya, what did you think of that video?
I thought it was great. I do remember Dan Deering and his pirate voice, and I'm glad that he used it to make a show out of it because it got really annoying after. But yes, Petey the Pirate, I do remember it.
So while we've been talking about our class for so long, I'd like to actually bring up the current 2011 class. They have a wonderful montage, I guess. You can see some of the stuff that they've done.
Yeah,
as opposed to just
absolutely.
talking about us. So
Yeah.
if we could bring that up.
Yeah, let's check out that montage.
Hey guys.
Really nice.
It was wonderful to see the new class, and so with the new class, we also have the old class.
Yeah, so here we have Nick Aquino from class of 2007, and Eddie Brown as well.
One and only.
Nick was one of the co-hosts of Lunch with Nick and Bo, so want to tell us a little bit about what that's all about?
Sure, I was Nick on Lunch with Nick and Bo. And basically one day, me and Bo would usually sit in the back of class and we would kind of have our own comments on when Mr. Pfeiffer was teaching, and I'm sure he loved that. And so one day he decided to just take that energy and put it towards something constructive, and he said, you guys should host a show. And I think on the pilot of it, no one was really watching. It was kind of a test just for us, and I think we interviewed Siobhan and Principal Susing. And after that, it kind of took off, and we started doing sketches that students in class made, and we started doing it weekly, and we had about 12 episodes.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun.
We watched every episode. It was great.
It was hilarious.
Thank you.
So we're about to actually bring up a clip that
And Eddie, why don't you tell us a little bit about this episode?
Landmark in your life, I think.
Nick and Bo, they had a segment called Dear Nick and Bo, where you write a letter to the audience and or to Nick and Bo, and they answer questions. And a lot of times after rewatching, they didn't always seem so real.
Yeah, basically, just to put my 2 cents in on that, nobody ever wrote us letters. Bo and I wrote letters to ourselves. And Eddie actually wrote us a real letter for the last episode, which I knew we absolutely had to get in the show.
Yeah.
And this is honestly my favorite moment from Lunch with Nick and Bo, because it's the best example for our show that we had of just live, unscripted TV. And we didn't know exactly what was going to happen, and I knew we had to bring the letter up. And Bo was the one, you've probably seen the clip, who really made it happen.
So I think we'd like to see this.
Yeah, let's check it out. Let's see it.
We quit or get fired. We actually have Dear Nick and Bo right now. We have a letter. Somebody wrote us this letter. We didn't make this up. This is from Senior Eddie Brown.
A real one.
Gave me this letter. I'll read it. Dear Nick and Bo, I'm not what you would call experienced when it comes to girls. In fact, I have never been kissed. So as a senior, I made it my goal to lose my first kiss by prom. Well, tonight is prom and I still haven't been kissed. Do you have any pointers for me? Thanks, Eddie Brown. This is a serious letter from our friend Eddie Brown, and I really want to help him out on this.
Okay.
Eddie. Siobhan Conley has her hand raised. Eddie, your solution. This is Siobhan. Siobhan, are you going to step up to the challenge and kiss Eddie Brown?
I don't know. I think it's appropriate. We've been friends since like second grade.
Eddie, you watching, big guy?
All right, I think that's your best offer right now.
We make
Eddie.
magic.
I know it's not much, but
Oh, Bo.
We make magic on
at
this
least
show.
it's something.
We make it rain on this show.
We make it rain.
We make it rain magic.
Oh, there he is.
Woo!
Raining of
magic. Solution, right there. Pointers.
Eddie's coming.
Gum. Eddie's coming?
Eddie's coming.
He's coming down the hall right now.
I would use
Eddie. You're not here yet, but you're coming.
I would use a Clips gum.
Gum.
Clips right before.
Eddie's walking down the hall. Eddie,
That's
get down here.
That's
Eddie.
a good shot.
Eddie.
Well, anyway.
No. No problem. So
do it slowly so you don't lose any teeth.
Yeah, don't rush too much.
Yeah.
Close your eyes.
Because that's how you break
Make
a
sure
nose.
you get there first before you close. All right, we got Eddie on the show right now.
Did you see
Eddie,
it?
we just.
I did see it.
You did?
I did.
I
just
can't
read
believe
your
this is
letter.
happening right now. That was a joke.
At prom tonight.
All right.
This is going to go down.
Well, actually, hold on.
What did I disagree to?
Wait, you said bye prom night. And you and Siobhan are right here, right now.
Okay.
I mean, what a better opportunity than right now.
Wait, okay, like what kind of like a kiss are we talking here? Like just like a.
Packer, you guys can do whatever.
A good one. Give him a good one.
Okay.
a good one.
What did he
sure
say?
the mic picked that up.
Did he say 5-second Frencher? Is that what he just said?
Yeah, get closer to the mic though.
Okay.
Real quick.
Are we?
This is movie
This
magic.
weird?
Hold on.
Get a little closer.
We were friends.
This is movie magic.
I wish we had some.
Is this appropriate?
I wish. Yeah, it's fine.
Don't worry, Susie's not here. She's not gonna know.
Yeah.
I can always pull it to Mika and Ben.
Okay, nobody knows what that means.
Okay.
Can we just?
I figured you would.
Good analogy, drama kid, but that's all right.
The camera's been on you this
doing this?
entire time.
It's your
We're
first
waiting.
kiss. Are we doing this?
Dan.
We make dreams come true. We're like Disney.
We like to make it wish.
Without the
You didn't even have to pay
characters.
Was that slutty to do?
No, you know that, Eddie. He wrote this letter. This is what he wanted by prom of his senior year. And you know what? He just got it.
On our show.
On our show.
Our show.
Yeah,
My show.
This is
my show. I just did that.
Guys.
I just did that. That just happened.
My mom's gonna see that.
Good for
Siobhan's
me.
mom's
going to see that. Good for us.
Good
for Nick and
forget
Bo.
those two.
Good for
us.
Nick and Bo. Get back to the shot of Nick and Bo. Good for us.
Look at us. Look at me.
Round of applause for Siobhan and Eddie. They just left. That was beautiful.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Honestly, that's really, really great. I think that's really. How do you feel looking at that right now?
Oh, that's awesome. I actually bought the DVDs just so I could be like, hey guys, guess what? I got my first kiss on DVD. And people are like, what? Like, yeah, let me show you.
So she's now engaged, apparently.
She is.
Did that dream come true?
Not for me.
Aww.
Joe Lopez, lucky man now. Very lucky man.
That is really, really great. I think that Nick and Bo is definitely one of the moments that like people remember most from video production. I know that Mr. Pfeiffer always showed it. What have you guys been doing since? I mean, has Nick and Bo continued or anything like that? Or
I went to Bentley University, and my freshman year I met a group of students who wanted to start a TV club. So we started Bentley Student TV, or BSTV, and it started with just a sketch comedy TV show, kind of similar to Lunch with Nick and Bo, but more sketch-based. And from that we grew to a student-run TV station with a variety of student-produced programming. We taped student organization events, sporting events, musical performances, and I did all that in the last 4 years.
So you're graduated now, huh?
Yeah, and now I just graduated, and we passed the club on to younger students, so I'm really proud of that.
Congratulations.
Thank
That
you.
sounds awesome. Along with graduating, moving on to the next phases in our life, we have a video. Actually, it's an interview I did with Mr. Pfeiffer yesterday. Let's take a look at that really quick.
And that's not something I do. That's something that they do when they begin to understand that working together is really important. And that's just terrific to see.
What's some advice that you would give to these kids so that they continue in this way?
The decisions you make must be yours. That's really, really important. It can't be, you can't decide to do what somebody else wants you to do if that's not actually your decision as well. That's really, really important. And the second thing is that you must be successful. There is no reason to aim for mediocrity. You must really excel, pick something to do and excel in that, and then tell me about it.
And what will you be doing in the next year or so, or in the next couple years? What's your plan after retiring?
Well, I was in the freelance market before I came to National High School South, and I'm going to go back to that. I'll probably do some writing for some magazines. I'll do some freelance video work for sure. I'll do maybe some other projects, writing projects that are on a freelance basis. It's going to be a little bit easier for me this first year that I'm not a W-2 full-time employee, because the New Hampshire primary season is revving up, and I'm sure I'll get some stuff to do in connection with that. And then I'll settle into something probably a little bit more consistent or regular, probably the year after that, I would guess. I still have to work. I'd like to sit by a beach and just hang out and read books, but I can't do that, not yet.
Think you'll call up any students, ask for some help?
I might. Maybe I'll get a job for some of them doing really well. They'll hire me. Well, we'll see what happens. The other thing is that I have called up students to help me do things I have to do, because there are people who are qualified in running cameras and people who are qualified in doing audio, and I've done that before, and given the primary season, I may well have an opportunity to do that again in the next year. And it'll be fun to work with students on a professional basis that I've had in the classroom. It'll be fun.
Are you nervous at all about retiring?
Oddly, no. No, I'm not. And I think that goes back to the 25 years I spent kind of without a job, and still I was fine. And, it's scary for people who get a regular paycheck and think of that going away. But on the other hand, you can, if you have your own income in your hands, you work a little bit harder trying to get it. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with hard work.
Any last words for any of the kids out there, or anyone at all?
I'd say, basically what you need to do is, the beginning of life is like going to a buffet. You have to sample things at the buffet and figure out what you like. And then when you figure out what you like, then you can make that the main meal. But there's no rush to get to the main meal. Take your time. You've got some time.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have. So thank you from me and from everyone in Nashua High. Good luck in retirement, and let's take it back to It's Too Early.
Yeah, that's me. I did that interview yesterday with Mr. Pfeiffer. He is retiring this year, and so that's why we're bringing together this whole alumni show. Tania, did you get a chance to listen for that video?
Yes, I did. Great interview. I love the advice that Mr. Pfeiffer gives, as always, and I just want to wish Mr. Pfeiffer the best of luck. I know that you're not going to retire. You probably won't ever retire, but definitely take a break, enjoy your time, and know that you can always call any one of us.
I'm sure you wish you could be here to say that to...
Yes, well,
we actually, before we continue on to the alumni.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a surprise. Another student, Kaylee Murray, did a little episode called Ask Al, and we have Kaylee Murray here with Al Caprillion.
A surprise guest.
Thanks, guys, for coming on.
Hi,
Thanks,
Brian.
Nice to see you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Kaylee, do you want to talk a little bit about your segment?
Sure. So we did this segment for the Nashua Telegraph website. It's called Ask Al, and we have students ask him questions about like any type of thing related to weather, because he's a weatherman, and actually a lot of your parents probably know who he is. And he's been around New Hampshire forever, and you've been doing some great stuff. We had students just ask him questions and did videos. Actually, we have one coming up with the cosmetology.
Oh, let's check out that video. Let's see if we can pull that up.
Cosmetology video. Let's see it.
Or, you know,
do we have it?
Before we bring that up, let's just talk about like how's it been working with TV studios?
I think it's great. Students have enjoyed it. You know, I record the weather at home each morning, but this is getting the students involved. We have next year's seniors that are all excited. They'll be taking over for Kaylee, Jennifer's been doing great, and Tyler and Greg and Gabby and the other students. So we're looking forward to working with them in the fall and maybe a little bit over the summer. So it's been great. And the Nashua High School, South and North, both high schools are a part of the Nashua Telegraph. I record the weather at home each weekday morning before 6:30, but instead of doing the Ask Al at home, it's funner, it's more exciting for me, and it's something I've never really done much in my career when I worked in Derry's. It's something new, and it's a new adventure for me, and these students are awesome. They're excellent. Both high schools.
Awesome. I think we have a little bit of that right now. I think it's ready to go. Let's check that out.
Hi, NashuaTelegraph.com readers. I am here at Nashua High School North Cosmetology Department. This week's weather question is by
Shandy.
Shandy, what's your question?
Do you know how the weather affects your hair?
Well, I noticed my stylist has told me that my hair grows a lot more. The speed is a lot faster in the summer when you have the heat and humidity. You sweat a lot. And I guess my hair likes to grow a lot when it's hot and humid. You know, we get those dew points 70 degrees or higher and 85 to 90 degrees. So I would say I think the speed is a little bit faster in the summer.
Yeah, I think so too.
Thank you for that great question.
Thank you.
Have a good week. We'll see you next time.
That's great. I love that. That's very different. Like that program, it seems innovative. That's great that they were able to get Al Caprillion.
Sorry, we're having a little bit some technical stuff, but right now we have some alumni coming on.
Yeah, this is a family that Mr. Pfeiffer's made.
And it's also Block 4 changing, which is really great. But yeah, we have some alumni in here. Let's get a shot of the alumni up in here. Woo! Oh, this is great. Oh, we're moving. We're moving. All right. Well, it looks like we have people from a bunch of different classes. It looks like mostly all older than me. Oh, we have 109er. 109er up in here. All right. Well, I mean, let's just go down the line. Brian Lilly. Here we go. How about we just say the class that you came from and what you're doing now and what your plans are for the future.
I'm Brian Lilly. I'm from the class of 2008. Right now I'm at Wingate University, which is in North Carolina, studying journalism. And my plans for the future are I want to be a sports writer for a major newspaper like the Boston Herald or ESPN or something like that.
Awesome. Let's move right now.
Korey O'Brien from the class of '08, the original producer of It's Too Early and the producer of today's It's Too Early, but I'm finally on camera for the first time, so that's kind of exciting and a little bit weird because I'm not used to being in front of the camera. But for the future, I want to keep on producing. I love it. This is so much fun.
Awesome. I'm Kendra McDonald. I'm from the class of 2008. I directed and produced Safe Prom back then. I go to Fitchburg State University now, and I'm majoring in film. But then after that, I'm actually going to dental school. Big change, but, you know, it'll be fun.
I'm Emily, and I was a class of 2009, and now I'm at Emerson College, and film production major, and I'm also executive producing one of our show's biggest award shows, which is awesome. It's been a lot of fun.
I'm Nick Aquino, class of 2007, and I'm applying for jobs in the TV industry.
I'm Eddie Brown, also class of 2007. I just graduated from Elford University out in Western New York, and I'm going back this fall for a graduate program so that I can have a career in student affairs.
I'm Mike Mino. I was the graduating class of 2005, one of the first years that we did it, and I work in food service, and that's about it.
I'm Leah Rose Pinkham. I was in the class of 2007. I just graduated Ohio University, and I'm headed to Germany in September to teach English at a high school.
I am Eric Escobar. I do tattoos. I just plan on doing that forever. Skateboarding, that's about it.
I want to say one more thing before I go. Before Alex and Brian close off, I want to say thank you to Mr. Pfeiffer. We all owe him so much. Thank you so much for everything. So much.
Come on out.
Quietly in front of the camera.
Our inspiration for everything right there.
Jim Pfeiffer, one and only.
He's not even in the shot. There we go. There's Pfeiffer. So we owe him. Here's Brian and Tania to Brian and Alex.
Oh.
I'm used to it. I'm sorry. Brian and Alex to close us out.
Yeah, so I think while we're all from different classes and we've all done different things, I think we can all say that we couldn't have done it without Mr. Pfeiffer.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the CTE program is something that Nashua is really unique for, and really it can't be done without the teachers who help teach it. And Mr. Pfeiffer, I know that we miss you, and I know that all the students you've taught are really going to miss you, and we hope to work with you in the future.
Well, thank you. You shaped our lives.
Any last words, Pfeiffer?
Well, I have to say, let me just say how much time we have left here. 4 minutes. It's been a privilege to do this. It really has been a privilege. I don't think many people understand that it really is an honor to do this for a living, because if all goes well, you go out there and take over the world after we're done, and being a part of that is completely cool. And you all have done terrific work, just terrific work. And it's fun to see it. It's just really, really fun to see what comes out of your creative brains. All I can do is give you the spark. It's up to you to kind of make the fire, and you've done that, and that's completely cool. And thank you for coming back. This is
it's our pleasure.
Great.
And that is the final It's Too
Great,
Early
yeah,
episode.
I think that's the final one of It's Too Early. It's been a pleasure. So for those of you who have been watching at home, we had Michael Brindley of the Nashua Telegraph come in. We had Mark Conrad, Superintendent of the Nashua School District. We had our alumni come in. Thank you guys so much.
Couldn't have done it without Korey producing.
Yeah, couldn't have done it. Our producer, Korey O'Brien. And also Tania Mendes. I think she already signed off, but she Skyped with us all the way from
Tania,
Arizona.
we can't hear you, but
there she
there
is.
you are.
There she is.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Tania. Oh, I don't know if we can. Can you hear her?
Tania?
Yes.
One last time.
Thank you guys so much. I wish you guys all the best of luck, and hopefully at our next high school reunion, we'll all be doing big things.
It's always a pleasure. And so thank you, Mr. Pfeiffer.
Yeah, and thank you, Mr. Pfeiffer.
You guys can dump out whatever you want.
Thank you.
All right, well, tune in for future programs and
Who knows where
awesomeness
that
coming
video production's
from
gonna go.
Yeah, video production and all of the CTE courses.
Hopefully someone can carry the reins.
It's been